Hello, Beard Wizard family. Welcome back to another episode of Beard Wizard Reviews, the second one today. And as you may or may not have noticed, I've been doing double episodes since the 1st of December. So if you've been missing it, I've been doing a Battle of the Beer Advent calendar every day since the 1st. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do both shows every day, but I'm going to try to give you content every day, 2 times for the next 24, well, not 24 days anymore. Thankfully, 14 days, 17 days, something like that, 17 days. Whew, we got a long ways to go, boys and girls. Anyway, I'm your host, Beard Wizard Man. This is Beard Wizard Reviews. It's a live review show where I take a look at content creators, independent musicians, and artists. Just yesterday, I did a review of a comic book called Bound. First comic book review I've done on this channel in that format, so I'm very happy with how that turned out. So check that out if you missed it, if you're interested in comics. But today we're back to the music content, and I saw that Steel Panther released a new one today, and we haven't looked at Steel Panther since we introduced them to the channel, so we're going to take a look at them today. Make sure you subscribe. I'm still setting some stuff up. I'm a little discombobulated right now. Anyway, make sure you subscribe. We're at 1,601. I would like to get to 2,000 by April. It looks like we might get there before April. But if we can get to 2,000 subscribers before April next year, that would be awesome. So please subscribe, share it out there, let your friends know. Check out the other stuff on the channel too. You might find other things you like, not just the bands that you came here for, but check out the other music as well. That's the whole point of this show. So if you're in the live stream, say hi. If you're watching the recording, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Today we're going to take a look at Steel Panther's 1987, a tribute to 1987 in the music of the 80s, a new one today. So we'll take a look. We'll pause as necessary and talk about the music. If you're, again, in the live stream, say hi. If you're watching the recording, leave me a comment. But here we are, Steel Panther's 1987. Prost.
Do you see anything?
Hold on. Holy shit, dude.
Dog.
This is awesome. You gotta come in here.
You know, I'm good over here. I think I'll stay back.
Dude, who do you think recorded in this place?
I don't know, but by the smell of it, I'm guessing REM.
Totally.
I don't know, man. I think we should leave. This place is like scary with a capital S.
Whoa.
Welcome, Ed. Hello, hello.
Oh, no, that's a rat. I'll see you later, man.
Pussy.
Very 1980s colors on that device. I'm sure somebody knows the technical term for that. I don't.
Dude, that was great. That was great. Let's do another one, man.
And there we are. There's the boys.
Appetite for destruction, blowing us all away. Poison looking so damn good, I wondered if I was gay. White snake making us bang our heads in the steel of the freaking day. Coverdale banging Tawny Katane, and the world all felt just right.
Okay, so the intro, I like the little short clip, the short movie there of the kids discovering this old studio. And for Steel Panther's comedic value, they are actually a very talented band. They legitimately are a talented group of musicians and singers and songwriters, but they choose to do comedy, they choose to do parodies. Now this song, while it has a humorous bent, is not really one of their comedy songs. This is very much a tribute to that era, and I don't know, I mean, some of you guys may know where you were in 87. I know. I mean, I had to look. I actually had to double check that I was right, but I remember the very first album I bought after I got a CD player for Christmas one year, and the very first album I bought for that CD player was White Lion's Pride. I don't know why I bought White Lion's Pride. Maybe it was the cover, because the cover is just all white and then it has kind of a lion's face on it. It has the song When the Children Cry on it, and I remember liking that song, but I don't remember if I heard that song before I bought the album, and that's why I bought it, or if I just bought the album and listened to that song and then started hearing that song on the radio. But, 87, you're talking Guns N' Roses, you're talking early Metallica, like he said, Whitesnake, White Lion, all of these hair metal bands developing into heavy metal, as Panther and Metallica and Megadeth start coming onto the scene in that era. We start seeing heavy metal start to take the forefront, and this is about that era where we're seeing that transition from hair metal to heavy metal, and those hair metal bands either start to just fall off or sort of shift gears a little bit and move away from the spandex and hairspray a little bit. But clearly Steel Panther is very much inspired by the hair metal bands that we grew up loving in the early and mid 80s. But yeah, I remember 87. I remember where I was and what I was doing as a kid. It was a fun time of my life. But here we go. Here's more.
Right. 1987, I never want to leave you. When you told me I was in my prime, why didn't I believe you? And the music scene will never be the same.
He's right.
But I didn't realize that things could get this lame.
His voice, I have to say, is fantastic, and I know he's emulating those singers from that era. So he's intentionally throwing in some of those tones and those idiosyncrasies of that era of music. But he does it so well, and his voice is really that good. And he's absolutely right. To me, anyway, this was one of the peaks in music. Now, there's been a few other peaks, but I struggle to think of a time where we had so much good music there as we transitioned from again, when we were going through that hair metal transitioned into heavy metal, rock music in that era, right in there in the late 80s. I struggle to think of a time where we had so much amazing music to listen to. I can't hardly listen to the radio now, and maybe it's because I'm getting old, but new music just isn't doing it for me. And I saw a post the other day where somebody showed the Billboard charts, and if I remember the post right, it said none of the top 30 songs on the Billboard charts have been released by a band that's younger than 20 years old. I mean, there are Fleetwood Mac songs, and obviously there's a reason for that, but Metallica songs, there are songs from bands that are 30, 40, 50, 60 years old that are on the Billboard charts. There's a reason for that, and that's kind of what he's talking about here.
Talking and lips were young and hot, they were warriors in the trade. I couldn't understand the loudness, dude, but man, that guy could scream. He was on the crazy train, biting heads off bands. It was long before the YouTube trolls and this bullshit snappy chats. 1987, you're always gonna be the best. Like first Colombian cocaine off a 19-year-old breast. And the kids these days will never understand what it's like to play an instrument and be in a band.
Now, I will say he's wrong there. There are some fantastic young musicians. We just looked at Asterism recently. I would qualify Asterism as a band perfectly attuned to this era of music. Like we talked about in the review on Monday, you could take those kids in Asterism and put them in any band from 1987 and they would kill it. I think there are some young people out there in funny stories. So my niece, my brother's young daughter, they were out shopping. My brother and her were out shopping one day years ago. And she wanted a band shirt. And I don't remember the band. I don't remember if it was The Who or Zeppelin. But she wanted this really cool vintage band t-shirt from one of these bands. And my brother said, not yet. So he took her home and had her sit down and listen to that band's catalog before he would let her get this vintage shirt. And she has developed an appreciation, as a teenager. She's like, she's 15. I think she's a sophomore in high school now. As a young teenager, she has developed an appreciation for music that my brother and I grew up with, and that our parents even grew up with, because she listens to, The Who and Zeppelin and bands even before my time. So there are kids who get it, not a lot, but there are kids who get it, because I think they get that music appreciation from their parents, maybe from shows like this, YouTube, from watching other bands, again, there's a reason that the Billboard charts are showing the way they are right now. So I do think that there's an appreciation out there. I would disagree with him a little bit on that, about the kids these days don't get it. I think kids these days are starting to get it more and more than we think they are, because they can access it easier than we used to be able to, which is nice. So good.
Growing out our hair, getting high with girls, cranking scorpions and priests. Everyone in leather.
Judas, hell yeah.
Never was a doubt in any of our minds. And pretty soon, Dave and Eddie were getting back together. 1987,
Dave and Eddie.
go astray. Back then, the friends we had were rare, and we saw them every day. And no one once got canceled for the things that they say. 1987 will forever be the year when guys wore more lipstick than girls, and no one seemed to care. And the music that we worship will live on.
Yes, it will.
Even after all our heavy metal heroes are gone.
Yeah. I love it. Oh, stupid ad.
I'm so
We're
grateful
gonna,
that
we're gonna bang that off. Sorry, I didn't catch it in time. Yeah, Pete. There goes Ripley. That constant fight with her tail. She's just gonna have at it. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me. I have to agree. 87 really is that era, that time. That's where we really had the height of music, and there have been peaks since then. There has been good music since then, but I can't think of a time where we had so much of it. I think that an appreciation for that is coming back, because again, people can access it. You can go on YouTube right now and watch concerts from 87. You can go watch the Metallica in Moscow concert from about that time, where over 1 million people showed up to watch Metallica play. So all of that stuff out there is available from the late 80s, early 90s. Go check that stuff out. And part of what he was talking about in that song too is that was a time where we hung out with our friends, where we saw each other, where we interacted with each other. You know, there's more to it than just the music of that time. If you paid attention to what he was saying, you know, hang out with your friends, put your phones down, go out to dinner with your buddies and leave your phones in your pockets. You know, I'm guilty of it too. I'm on my phone constantly. Part of it's for my job. Part of it is marketing for the show and for what I do. But damn, when I'm out with my friends, that phone stays in my pocket, or it's upside down on the table. You know, it's if I don't want to sit on it, because I don't want to break my phone. You know, look at each other. Talk to each other about music. Listen to music, for God's sake. Get a record player, get a CD player. I don't care. Put it on Spotify. Listen to some old music together. Hang out and talk and drink beer, and if you're of age, you know, and shoot the shit and listen to good music. Those are things that we used to do all the time that some people just don't do anymore. You know, and you see it. You go out and look around you. Go out and look around and see how many groups of friends are hanging out at a restaurant or a bar, and all of them like this. Why? Why even bother if that's what you're going to do? So let's get back to that stuff. Such a musical void, and then came Japan. I would partially agree with you, Ed, only in that newer bands have not been doing it as much, but there are older bands that are still, I mean, Metallica just released a new song. They've got a new album coming, and I'm going to go see them in the fall. I don't know if I mentioned that. My wife, Julie, amazing, got us tickets to go see Metallica in St. Louis with Pantera and Mammoth and Five Finger Death Punch. And, you know, there's another one, Mammoth. Mammoth's a young band, Eddie Van Halen's kid, and they're good. So there is some stuff out there, but it's not like it used to be. Anyway, thank you, Ed, and everybody else who was here. I appreciate you. You guys aren't here to hear me rant about music. Thank you. Let me know what you think about the review. Go check out Steel Panther's channel and tell him that the Beard Wizard Man sent you. I will see you all again soon. Have a great one. Much love. Bye.